Okay, so first things first. I don't really get a lot of time after I make these videos to go back and listen to them. I'm gonna try to explain it as quick as I can. Sometimes I speak so fast, or sometimes I slur or stumble on words or something like that. And a lot of times it sounds muffled or mumbled when I say it, either or, whichever word. And that's usually because when I'm thinking about something, like 5, 10, 15 other thoughts come into my head, which begins to distract me, and it kind of messes me up. And so that's why sometimes when I say certain things, because I watched the Daniel Jones videos that I did, and for the most part I was satisfied with what I got done with them, because I felt like I got my point across. But there were times in the videos where I felt like I either stop short on what I was trying to say. Like I completely messed up a word, and I'm kind of a perfectionist when I do certain things. Like it bugs me if it just doesn't come out right. So if at any point anybody watches these videos and they hear or see anything like that that's messed up or anything like that, this is because I usually do these videos, I record what I gotta say, I upload them, and that's it. I don't edit them or anything like that, because I want my first reaction to a lot of things to be a natural reaction. I don't want to force anything, or I don't want to rehearse anything. Want it 100% raw and real, and that's usually how I like it. So if I mess up something, if it comes out weird, or if I say something that sounds like weird or strange or messed up or anything, just forgive me. I mean, I don't really get time to watch these videos before I upload them. I just do them and move on to the next thing. I don't spend too much time focusing on them. But okay, now to the video. I did a few videos about Odell Beckham Jr. A few months ago, back before the season ended, and I was saying how the Giants were going to they were going to move him. It was a done deal, I'm pretty sure. After they gave him the contract, that contract was not to keep Odell Beckham. That contract was to make him an attractive trade option. Because a team isn't going to just trade for Odell Beckham with 1 year left, knowing that he may not come back. They need assurances. They need to know that if I'm going to invest picks and players into this dude, I need to make sure that he's going to be there for longer than a year. So, in order for the Giants to be able to trade him or make him a suitable trade option, they needed to give him a new contract. That's why they gave him the new contract. And I don't think Odell Beckham understood that. I don't think he understands that. And I think that's kind of playing with him a little bit, because he probably liked it in New York. He probably didn't like playing with Eli. He probably didn't like the lackluster effort that his teammates gave sometimes. But I'm pretty sure this dude loved New York, man, because New York, the cameras are on you. I mean, people pay attention to everything. Even if the product is shit on the field, they pay attention. But he probably liked the attention that he got in New York. So moving from New York to Cleveland I'm pretty sure it's like night and day, two different worlds. It's not the same thing, and Cleveland isn't the same market as New York. So I'm pretty sure he's pretty bummed out by that. But Cleveland has a better squad than New York, clearly, and I think that he has a chance to be more successful there. That doesn't mean players want to be where they're going to be more successful. It's like animals and familiar ground. Sometimes even if where you're at is not as prosperous as other places, I mean, nothing beats home. So, but I'm gonna let this play.
But I'm in a C-list movie.
Sorry, I forgot that I watched a little bit of the video, but I'm gonna go back.
Odell Beckham Jr.'s moments in Cleveland have been very brief so far. He was at the first day of OTAs on Tuesday, but then did not show up yesterday. Beckham's only other appearance in Cleveland was back in April for his intro press conference. Despite all this, Freddie Kitchens seems all right with Beckham not being there. Take a listen.
I've never disputed the fact that it's not important for him to be here, but it's also important for him to be mentally ready to be here. All right, so I'm not giving him an out by any stretch of the imagination. Nobody here knows the conversations that Odell and I have. I'm just saying it's better for him to be here when he can present his best self, emotionally, physically, everything. And Odell Beckham's going to be here in the fall, and he's going to be a good football player in the fall, just like he has been. We just need to incorporate it into a team setting now and move forward with the Cleveland Browns, and that's what we're going to become.
And then there's this. Olivier Vernon, who is now in Cleveland and was with Odell in New York, said, he gets a bad rap. If you never met the guy, don't know the guy, just keep your mouth shut. I played with the guy 3 years, now going on my 4th year. He's a great teammate, great person. Shannon, big deal or no big deal that Odell only went to 1 day of Browns OTAs?
It would have been no deal, but Odell made it a big deal by going there for 1 day and leaving. Skip, what Freddie Kitchens said is very, very disturbing.
And real quick, I kind of felt the same way when I was listening to him make that speech. But I understood it once I gave it some thought. Freddie Kitchens is a rookie coach. And it's not often that rookie coaches in the NFL inherit teams that are loaded. The last coach I can remember that inherited a team that was loaded in the NFL was Mike Tomlin. That's the last I can remember. I mean, there may have been somebody else, but Mike Tomlin. I mean, he pretty much had a Super Bowl team ready to go when Bill Cowher retired and he came in. Now, I can understand what he's saying. I mean, I can understand why he's saying what he's saying. Not that I can understand what he's saying. I can understand why he's saying it. Freddie Kitchens is a rookie coach who inherited a very loaded team, who just got a fucking bona fide star wide receiver who was traded, and I'm pretty sure Odell Beckham was blindsided by the trade. Because for some reason, all these players believe that these teams that draft you, they love you. Just because they love your talent don't mean they love you. Because the moment your talent's not there, you see quickly how much they fucking care about you. That's why there is no loyalty in sports. Because the team will always do what's best for them. This is why the players must always do what's best for them. This is why when people still give KD shit about going to Golden State, so the fuck what? So the fuck what? Any of these sports fans out here that get mad at KD, you mean to tell me if you were a bona fide superstar basketball player and you've never won a title and the only person that you've played with as your Robin was a goddamn sociopath on a goddamn basketball court who don't give a fuck about nobody? You're gonna try to go to the best situation possible, especially if you're getting paid to. You ask any one of these fans that got a problem with KD going to fucking Golden State, be real. If you had a choice to go to Golden State or New York, where the fuck would you go? And this is real, man, because loyalty does not exist. The only real loyalty in the world, not just sports, in the world, is to yourself. And then everything else falls in line after that. It took me a very long time to learn that. Even as a young athlete, man, it took me a very long time to know that, to understand that. You know, like I wanted to play running back in high school. I was extremely fast. I was super athletic. It's just the team had so many running backs. Everybody wanted to be a fucking running back on the team. Like that's what they told me. Like when I joined the team, they asked me what position I wanted to play. I said running back. It was like everybody wanted to play running back. So they moved me to defensive end, and I was really good, but I still wanted to play. I still had the confidence in myself to know that I could have played running back if I wanted to. But It just didn't work out that way. And then what I did after that was I took an opportunity, tried to be the best defensive end that I possibly could be. I mean, it happens. Shit happens, man. Nothing ever really goes your way. This is why, as long as you remain confident in yourself to get the shit done, the job will get done. And the problem with Odell Beckham right now, that I'm pretty sure it is a problem, is that the Giants gave up on him. He feels like the Giants gave up on him. You know, they told him I'm pretty sure they told him that they wasn't going to trade him. Look at Josh Rosen. They told Josh Rosen, "You're good, man." Cliff Kingsbury said, "Josh Rosen is our guy." That's what he said. That's what he said. He's our guy. And like 2 months later, that nigga was out as soon as they got Kyler Murray. Like, all he had to do was be like, "Look, we're actively shopping Josh Rosen. I'm bringing in Kyler Murray." Like, I don't get the cloak and dagger. You have the number 1 pick. I remember the Miami Dolphins had the number 1 pick one time. And I believe it was the Miami Dolphins, or it could have been the Kansas City Chiefs. But one of those teams had the number 1 pick, and they signed this dude like a week before the draft even started. Like, you don't have to fucking hold your pick. If you're going to pick Murray, just pick fucking Murray. And then move Rosen. Don't lie to the guy. And this is why Josh Rosen feels some type of way. Josh Rosen feels like they completely just lied to him and then moved him. And in a way they did. But it is what it is. Sports is a cutthroat business, man. To believe that there's loyalty in sports is to believe there's fucking Santa Claus. You're going to be disappointed.
We need a guy to be mentally ready to be here. Be here and present his best self.
Real quick. The reason why Kitchens is saying that is because he understands Odell has reservations about being in Cleveland. Now, when I was defending Odell and his actions, not his actions, I was defending Odell as a person, not his actions. I've also stated that Odell Beckham has a tendency to be an attention whore, like a lot of wide receivers. Attention whores, just like Antonio Brown. But that doesn't take away from them as solid football players, positive impacts on their locker room, and also good people. You know, like, you don't really hear Antonio Brown off the field. And besides a few instances with Odell Beckham, you really don't hear him off the field. You hear about him off the field. That one thing with that hotel room with the girl with the drugs and pizza and all this other shit. Listen, I don't really know too much about that situation. I really wasn't paying attention at that time when that whole situation happened. I really didn't give a fuck about it because, you know, I'm pretty sure all these athletes are doing something dirty behind closed doors. Even the fucking noble ones like Drew Brees, probably Tom Brady. Like, they probably doing some shit behind closed doors nobody knows about. So, you know, it's just these young brothers are the only ones that tend to put their shit on Instagram. You don't see Tom Brady Instagramming his shit. You don't see Drew Brees Instagramming his shit. And I'm not saying they're doing anything. I'm just saying if they do, you don't see them Instagramming about it or putting it up on a Twitter timeline or some shit. You just don't see it. So, but back to what I was saying. Kitchens is only saying this because he understands the mindset possibly going into the season for Odell Beckham, because you want to cater to him as much as you can right now, because the worst thing you can do, Odell Beckham is the best player on this team. The worst thing you can do is upset the best player on your team. That completely fucks up the chemistry in the locker room, and Kitchens does not want to lose the locker room before he has a chance to win. When Kitchens start winning, if the Browns make the playoffs, you're going to see a different Freddie Kitchens. Right now, he's trying to play it safe. He's trying to be as diplomatic as possible because he does not want to lose the team already. Because right now, the Browns are geared to towards winning the division, making the playoffs, and potentially making a run. Who knows? Then that's if they make the playoffs, if they win the division. I still think Baltimore is the favorite, but if they win the division, Kitchens does not want to fuck it up. Because he can easily come out and be like, look, Odell has some reservations about being here. He still doesn't know why or understand why the Giants let him go. And that's affecting his ability to get the job done here. Once he's back with us mentally, once he's back, we'll hit the ground running. That's pretty much all it is. Yeah, I mean, anybody with common sense can see that.
We know Odell's gonna be here this fall. Yeah, no jive. Of course he's gonna be there. He has no choice but to be there. Skip. Odell hasn't gotten over the fact that the Giants shipped his butt out of there.
They did.
This would be like Denzel, an A-list movie, doing Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
That's how Odell sees it.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I'm an A-list, but I'm in a C-list movie. He sees him. Skip, you watch it on Instagram. He's in Paris. He's at the Met Gala. Guys at the Met Gala don't do.
Look, all that's fine, but I got one thing to say about that analogy he just made and to make about this whole thing with Odell Beckham. All right, the difference between a C-list actor and an A-list actor is that A-list actors usually turn shitty projects into watchable projects. They usually turn okay projects into really good projects. They usually turn really good projects into masterpieces. I mean, their acting chops are so refined that they make the role. Like, look at Bernie Mac. People don't think too highly of this movie, but I thought it was pretty funny when I watched it as a kid, and I thought Bernie Mac was fucking hilarious. State of what is it? Head of State with Chris Rock, and I thought it was a corny movie. This is me as a kid. I thought it was a corny movie. I thought it, had a lot of cheap jokes in it, but Bernie Mac stole he stole the show, and that's the difference between a B-list actor like Chris Rock, making cheap jokes, and what I consider to be an A-list talent in Bernie Mac completely stealing the show. Now, if Odell Beckham is as box office and as great as he believes he is, and as a lot of people believe he is, there is no way that Cleveland should not win this division this year. They're just far more talented than anybody else. And if he is that good, Odell should be a huge reason why they win this division. Now, if you're going to compare him to Denzel Washington, he has to be able to put up Denzel Washington performances. There is no you just giving the dude credit before he's earned it. He has to be able to go out there and earn it. That's just like with Kawhi Leonard. With Kawhi Leonard, before the season even started, I didn't want to buckle under to Kawhi Leonard that I knew in San Antonio. I wanted to see what he was going to do in Toronto before I say, you know what, Kawhi Leonard is a really great player. And he has proven that he is a really great player. And Odell Beckham needs to do the same thing. Just like Antonio Brown in Oakland needs to do the same thing. Le'Veon in New York needs to do the same thing. He needs to do the same thing here. Now, if these are mandatory OTAs, this is unacceptable. And the quickest way to lose the respect of the team is by just giving special treatment to certain players. For whatever reason, you're trying to be as diplomatic as possible. You're trying not to rock the boat. I get it. But you need to put your foot down. Because a guy like Odell, who loves attention and thinks it's all about him a lot of times, he will see that as a weakness, man. And this was the problem in Pittsburgh. They allow players to do whatever they want when they get there. Then they want to blame the player for doing whatever they want when you allow them to do it. It's like a kid. I already made this analogy about Antonio Brown. It's like a kid who you let come in your house, do whatever they want, and you don't say shit. You're putting it in their head that it's okay for them to do what they're doing. And then when you have a problem with it, now they're looking at you like you crazy. Like, oh, but you let me do this shit before, and now it's a problem. You got to be able to put your foot down. Freddie Kitchens cannot come back later this season talking about, I expect more out of Odell Beckham Jr. No. You should expect more out of him every time, every fucking day. You should expect more out of him when he's inside that facility, when he's on that field, when he's playing in games. You can't sit back and play Mr. Diplomatic right now, and then when you feel like you have enough cachet and you feel like your job security is good enough that now you want to start making demands. I don't want to hear Freddie Kitchen at the end of the season start railing Odell Beckham Jr. for not showing up, because you're allowing him to think that him not being there is good right now. He needs to be there if he needs to be there. If these are voluntary OTAs, what the fuck are we even talking about this shit for?
Cleveland?
He's not out there in Cleveland. Where is Cleveland?
Out there.
Yeah, he's at Paris. He's touring with Drake. He's at this or that. No place in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And for him, my thing is, why you even show up? If you were only going to stay a day,
Exactly.
or a 3-day, they already know. They used to joke with me, Skip, hey, Sharp, you going to do a drive-by to OTA? They know, hey, no, I'm not going to even tease you like that. No, I'm not coming. Oh, then why? Olivier Vernon, shut up. I know what you say, but I'm Skip, I got these glasses now. I'm like 2015. I see better than I hear. I know they keep telling me Odell's a leader.
Yep.
Odell's a great guy.
Yep.
But I know what I see. I know the behavior that I see. So
Yeah, I never thought that Odell was a leader. I thought that he was a phenomenal talent. He was the number 2. I believe he is to be the number 2 receiver in the NFL. I have him over Julio Jones. People like Julio Jones. I think he's a really great receiver. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I just think that Odell Beckham provides his team with more explosive plays than Julio does. You know, and in today's league, where it's high octane offense 24/7, you need big plays. And I'm not saying that Julio can't deliver those plays, but Odell was a lot more proficient with his explosiveness. But yeah, I wouldn't listen to Olivier Vernon as well. I mean, what else are you going to say? Like, you're on the team, bro. Like, you were with him last year. You're on the team this year with him. What the fuck I hate when people come out and be like, look, you need to take what I say very seriously, because there is no way that my comments are affected in any way to the relationship of the person I'm talking about. All right. I don't like Odell Beckham Jr., but I think he's a phenomenal person. That is no. Olivier Vernon is playing Mr. Politics right now, and everybody just needs to stop being so look, man. If he's gonna be there, he's gonna be there. And from the tone that Shannon is making, I don't think these are mandatory. If these are voluntary, he doesn't have to. Honestly, yeah, he shouldn't show up. If you're not ready to be there, don't be there at all. But like I said, Odell likes the attention, man. This is why it falls on Freddie Kitchens to step in and be like, look, if Odell Beckham wants to be a leader on this team, I'm holding him to the same standard I'm holding Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, and anybody else on this team. I'm holding him to the same standard. If you allow him to believe that he is above the law, do not be mad when he becomes an outlaw. Like, it is what it is.
how great a guy was he when he went down to Miami to get ready for that game at Lambeau Field?
Yeah.
How great was the guy when he on the kicking net, when he hitting the kicking net and throwing tantrums on the sideline when he doesn't catch passes?
Yep.
Whoa, hold on, real quick. And yeah, I'm gonna end this right here, man. This shit ran a little bit too long, but I don't want to hear this from Shannon Sharp right now, because when Odell Beckham was doing all that wild shit where he was kicking the net and proposing to the net and all this other shit, and people were saying that, you know, he's too attention hungry on the sideline, Shannon Sharp was one of those guys that came out and says, all right, so, if he isn't passionate, if it's not passion with him, but it is passion with Tom Brady, you can't say that. You can't say that about Tom Brady. I mean, they believe that Odell Beckham Jr. and Tom Brady had the same level of passion for the game. And I was like, what the hell? Like, do you see Tom Brady fucking punching the kicking net, cursing it out, and then making out with it later? Like, when shit is going his way? Do you see that? Look, a fiery Tom Brady is different than an attention-hungry Odell Beckham Jr. That is not the same thing. And Shannon Sharp was trying to make it seem like it was the same thing. And then Skip was telling them it's two different things, which I 100% agree with. It's not the same thing. All right, but I'm going to end this right here. I may continue it later. I'm sorry it ran so long.